Well, a very good afternoon. Trusting that this chilly Monday morning is coming along well for you. Welcome to this edition of KTN News Desk. My name is Grace Nganga, but first, let's look at the day's highlights.
I am a coffee.
Basic Education PS Eliud Mugi now says necessary measures have been put in place to ensure smooth transition to grade 9 in January. Calls for the formation of a special police unit within the DCI to deal with the rising cases of femicide. Plus, Israel continues its airstrike campaign on Lebanon in what Israel says are ongoing operations against Hezbollah. Welcome to the broadcast. Eliud Mugi, the suspect alleged to have stabbed his girlfriend Florence Wanjiku 18 times on the night of November 21st, 2024, has been arrested after he surrendered himself to the police. His lawyers, Kakohe Shege, who addressed the press at the Nakuru Central Police Station Monday, said that his client Mugi surrendered himself in his presence. According to Shege, they had obtained CCTV footage from a house near the scene of crime, which they intend to use as evidence in Mugi's defense once presented in court. Wanjiku is currently recuperating in hospital and claims that the attack resulted from their breakup and business-related issues. Rift Valley Regional Police Commander Jasper Umbati has confirmed the arrest.
At this juncture, we wish to assure the members of the public that the suspect, who has been named in the alleged incident of the 21st of November 2024, is currently being detained at Nakuru Central Police Station, awaiting further investigations. We also wish to assure the public that the said Eliud Mugi is ready and willing to cooperate with the investigative authorities for purposes of determining the events of what really happened on the 21st of November. Just a slight indication from the defense is that we are in possession of CCTV footage clearly showing what transpired on that night of the 21st of November 2024. And Kenyans at large will be shocked that the narrative that is currently being peddled by the complainant is completely different from what the CCTV footage has provided.
Well, that's the story that we are keenly following up on, and of course we'll be giving you any new details in our subsequent bulletins, so please keep it KTN. To education matters now, Principal Secretary in the State Department for Basic Education, Dr. Eliud Mugi, has reiterated that the government has put the necessary measures to ensure smooth transition on grade 8 pupils to grade 9 next year. The PS revealed that by January next year, an additional 11,000 classrooms countrywide for the grade 9 candidates will have been completed, with another 5,000 classrooms constructed by the national government Constituency Development Fund to achieve a total of 16,000 classrooms that were needed for grade 9 pupils. He reported that the ministry had allocated an extra 1 billion shillings for schools in Nairobi County because of their unique challenges.
Hospitals, and this is where now we urge our parents, we urge ourselves as critical stakeholders that there is need for us to protect our culture, so that going into the future, we do not subject them to a situation where they do an exam in an environment that is not favorable. And as you are all aware, these teenage pregnancy cases, in most cases, it is a problem of adults. It is not really a problem of our small boys and girls. So if we commit ourselves as adults that we would want to protect our culture, we would want to protect our daughters, our sisters, then we can be able to sort out these teenage pregnancies.
Now, Council of Governors today unveiled a comprehensive financial management and procedures manual aimed at streamlining operations in health spending units across the country. During the launch, COG Chairman Ahmed Abdullahi emphasized the critical role of the manual in addressing the persistent challenges of fund management in health facilities. He noted that proper financial management has been a major hurdle in delivering quality healthcare services. The Permanent Secretary for Public Health also called for public registration in the Social Health Authority (SHA) and underscoring the government's commitment to improving healthcare access and financial accountability in the sector.
To have you here as we mark another milestone in the rollout of universal healthcare, universal health coverage, UHC. The Constitution of Kenya bestows the county government with a mandate to oversee the management and provision of quality health services at primary and secondary level. Facilities Improvement Financing Act provides the full financial autonomy of health spending units, while the Social Health Insurance Act provides financing mechanisms for those spending units. The unit of delivery for health services in Kenya is the health facility. By this, I mean the facility and the catchment population. Indeed, we cannot talk about strengthening health systems when we don't strengthen health facilities. Ladies and gentlemen, for a long time, health has been delivered outside the defined and established governance structures. This has led to inefficiencies and weakened sustainability. The responsibility of managing and delivering healthcare is vested in the health facility in charge. The facility in charge must understand the internal and external environment to which the facility exists. We are alive to the fact that the ongoing UHC reforms have drastically redefined how healthcare is to be provided and introduced radical changes. We are also cognizant that hospitals are now being audited as independent spending units. This means those units must have systems and capacity to manage resources and deliver healthcare services to the people. To our valued partners, if your interventions are not centered around the spending unit, you may need to reevaluate the effectiveness of your investments. Ladies and gentlemen, this manual and the subsequent training will strengthen county health spending units by enhancing their leadership skills.
Away from that, hundreds of residents of Nyeri turned to access the free medical services at the Nyeri Medical Camp, organized by several organizations, including Kenyatta National Hospital, Aga Khan University Hospital, Penal Vision Network, and other partners. Those who showed up say they opted for free services, citing challenges of accessing the much-needed services at the public hospitals as a result of the government shifting from NHIF to the Social Health Authority (SHA).
Kenye kimenileta huku nilikuwa nataka kujua matibabu yaliyo huku katika uwanja wa Kamukoji Grounds. Na mimi venye nimezuru kwa mahospitali mingi huku nimejua hii mambo ya SHA na SHI haisaidii. Afadhali waturudishe kwa NHIF.
We are looking forward to ensure to have about 2,000 residents of this county attended during this free medical camp. The second thing that we are doing, we are having sessions of praise and worship. We have invited various gospel artists, various servants of God to minister the word of God, and a lot of players. So we are here in Kamukonji ground in Nyeri, and we are looking forward to have a very impactful conference.
Now, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru has called for the formation of a special police unit within the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, to deal with rising cases of femicide in the country. Wagoro said the unit within the existing structures of DCI will help in probing and stopping the ongoing killings of women in the country, while terming the femicide as the most extreme manifestation of violence against women. The governor, however, said a long-term solution to the killings of women and girls must be found. She said the widely reported discovery of killings of women across the country are shocking and highlighted an ever-worsening national femicide crisis.
We are extremely perturbed by the rise and the number of femicide cases. Just the other day, we had an incident that affected one of us here in Kirinyaga. And we continue to hear of these cases every single day. We thank His Excellency, the President, because he has finally taken some action. But we also are asking for a long-term solution to this issue. I think this issue has a lot more to do than just what meets the eye, and a comprehensive assessment of what is going on in our society needs to be checked. We need to look at the drug usage amongst the young people. We need to look at the issues that are affecting people and anger management in the society, so that we can reduce the cases of femicide and also reduce the cases of gender-based violence.
Young girls and women have been urged to engage in sports as a way to eradicate GBV and teenage pregnancies. Speaking during the launch of a women football tournament covering 5 constituencies in Meru to raise awareness on gender-based violence, Meru Women Representative Elizabeth Kalemia says engaging women in such events will help reduce cases of teenage pregnancies and GBV, which are rampant. Meru County is among the leading counties in cases of sexual and gender-based violence.
One out of 3 women will experience some form of gender-based violence in their lifetime. In Meru, like in many other parts of Kenya, the numbers are also alarming and the impact is devastating. We are losing our daughters, our sisters, and our mothers to violence, physical, emotional, and sexual, sometimes in the most horrifying and humane ways.
Hatungepata mahali kwa kukaa as we are together to practice something that can help us in future, but for now we are happy sababu hata ile time tulikuwa tunatumia vibaya, we can come here gather together na tunafanya kitu constructive.
Sisi kama wasichana tuko na talent za kucheza na vitu mingi sana, na kuanzia leo naona tutazifafanua sana.
As a federation, that way you are backing the office of the GAF and the women rep ili waweze kuendelea kunacha hizi talent.
Well, KTN News Desk now takes a very short breather. Please stay with us for more on the other side. Welcome back and thank you for choosing us. Kenyans have been urged to embrace hybrid cars for their eco-friendly nature as opposed to the fossil fuel-powered cars. Speaking in Nairobi, Sophie Ogilo, the head of corporate sales at Cars Kenya, called on Kenyans not to hold back on their quest to sample the hybrid cars, noting that they offer a warranty covering hybrid batteries for up to 1 year after the delivery of cars to her customers, therefore eliminating stigma associated with hybrid technology and ensuring peace of mind for the hybrid car owners.
Yes. When we talk about the advantages of hybrid cars, you find that they are very, very environmental friendly because of, you find that for fossil petrol cars, they are a bit noisy. Another advantage that for hybrid cars is fuel economy. And also to add on top of that, you find that the tax compared to fossil petrol cars, the tax are slightly higher.
I've been interested in a hybrid, specifically the Nissan Serena hybrid. I can say for sure that the Nissan Serena, compared to the petrol version of it, the hybrid is way cheaper. You save a lot on fuel, save a lot in terms of your pocket.
Now, Kilifi County government and stakeholders have partnered to instill business and entrepreneurial skills to high school students in the area as a way of preparing them to be innovators and job creators of the future. Speaking in Juaba Hall in Kilifi town during a 2-day training session for 200 students selected from various secondary schools in the area, Deputy Governor Flora Chibule said that the training, which is in the 3rd year, in collaboration with ABE Global Organization, was the stepping stone in ensuring that young people are nurtured to be economically independent by the time they complete their post-secondary school education.
In future, maybe I might become a businesswoman, and thanks to this entrepreneurship global that has helped us in developing some schools, like finding a business that doesn't require a lot of capital.
It is helping young people, training young entrepreneurs to identify and realize their potential and come up with unique ideas.
And therefore these students are well positioned for that kind of opportunities, and when we train them and provide them with these kind of skills, then definitely we are doing a big favor to them.
Yes, have that professional paper you have, that certificate, that degree. It doesn't hurt. Because nowadays, utasikia kuna kazi. You'll get so many people who are going to apply for that job, but what extra thing do you have?
To some international news, Israel continues its airstrike campaign on Lebanon in what Israel says are ongoing operations against Hezbollah. This as Hezbollah launches more rocket attacks into Israel. VOA's Arash Arabasadi has this story.
Israeli airstrikes on Sunday crash into southern Beirut. Israel says the attacks are part of its ongoing campaign against Iran-backed terror group Hezbollah. Meanwhile, a residential building in Israel has its side blown out following an attack of more than 185 rockets throughout the country launched by Hezbollah in Lebanon. The militant group began its most recent campaign of launching attacks into Israel following the Hamas terror attacks against Israel on October 7, 2023. Hezbollah said it did so in solidarity with Hamas. Both Hamas and Hezbollah, designated terror groups by the United States, are part of Iran's so-called axis of resistance against Israel. Israeli strikes into Lebanon so far killed more than 40 Lebanese soldiers, collateral damage for which Israel's military expressed regret. But pressure continues climbing for a ceasefire deal between the nations, and the European Union pledged more than $200 million in support of Lebanese armed forces while seeking an end to the war.
We must pressure the Israeli government and maintain the pressure in Hezbollah to accept the U.S. proposal for a ceasefire. This was agreed. This proposal is pending with the final agreement with the Israeli government.
As cross-border fire continues, Lebanon's caretaker prime minister accused Israel of sending a direct and bloody message rejecting all efforts to reach a ceasefire. The weekend's ongoing hostilities come along with news of the disappearance turned killing of an Israeli rabbi in the United Arab Emirates. Social media video emerged of Rabbi Zvi Kogan just days before his disappearance. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called Kogan's death a criminal, anti-Semitic terrorist attack.
Now, 2 Italian nationals are facing forgery charges after allegedly obtaining 32 million shillings by false pretense. Now want the Kilifi Chief Magistrate James Mwaneke to recuse himself from hearing the matter. Daniel Lokoko and Massimo Nativi filed the application after the magistrate ordered them to surrender their passport in what the court termed an attempt to run the court diary by setting the itinerary of travel outside the country without considering the court schedule. In the application filed through their lawyer Muthuri Kinyua, defense lawyers say that on October 30th, 2024, following a complaint by the accused, the court issued orders of the accused in writing. It will exercise impartiality and issue orders in good faith and objectivity.
Is a question whether or not they transgressed from our laws, and that question can only be resolved by this court. The fact there are so many Kenyans who are in jail, who are in prison today in remand. They are lucky, they are able to move on. Because they are able to pay their bills. So nobody should sit on a higher pedestal or on a higher horse and feel that his clients are more important than the complainants.
Now, elders from Nyangi Ndiriri Cultural Group, who are among communities claiming ownership of the disputed 44,000 Moya settlement scheme, have expressed desire to have the matter sorted out through mediation. According to the group chair, Andrew Ireri, the land tussle had been dodged by endless litigations from communities claiming ownership, including Mbere community and those already in occupation. He said currently there are about 4 lawsuits pending in court with no end in sight, as different groups keep on filing fresh petitions whenever a ruling is not favorable to them. He already added that his group had moved to court seeking to have all the cases consolidated with a view of building consensus from all interested parties and have the decades-long tussle sorted out once and for all.
Tukiwa wazee na kina mama upande wa Embu, Nyangi Ndiriri, tumeongea na tukaonelea njia nzuri ya kutatua hayo maneno. Isinje ikawa kuna wengine wanaitatua kotini na wengine wamepeleka kotini na shamba ni moja. Tunataka kuambia wazee wa Mbere, wazee wa Mwea, wale ambao tunawaita Wakamba kutoka bandi ya Mwea, na wazee wa Embu, tumepitisha kauli moja. Kabla tarehe 11 mwezi wa Februari ama mwezi wa pili na tarehe 24 mwezi wa pili tuwe tumekaa chini.
Well, and that's it for us here on KTN News Desk. Thank you so much for your company and always sparing time for KTN. My name is Grace Nganga. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.
KTN, welcome home.
What are the influences your parents, maybe when you look back in retrospect, they had on you?
I saw the value of family through them.